Hello again, folks. Well, today I decided to do a little bit of cleaning. So today, let's do a little piston cleaning video, and I'll show you guys how to take a piston from that to that. Pretty simple, just involves a little bit of elbow grease and a little bit of motivation. Attention to detail helps as well, and a willingness to get absolutely filthy. Stay tuned. Okay, so the first thing you want to try to do is relax yourself. You want to change into some nasty clothes because you're going to get absolutely disgusting. Make sure you have safety glasses of some sort so you don't get this junk in your eyeballs because it will melt that clear fluid that's in your eyes. You'll also need a little piece of a ring, which we'll get into here in a minute, and other stuff. I've got a glass of wine because wine to me kind of associate that with relaxation. So you want to take your time doing this. You want to make sure you get everything clean, but we're going to take this from barely moving here, as you can see there, and we'll get it nice and freed up, and we'll get it clean. All right, so first thing is put your goggles on, safety glasses on, because we are going to snap these piston rings off. You'll come in here and look here. These piston rings are pretty easy to get off if you can get one to pop up a little bit and get a little space on it, and you can snap it just like that. Now we're going to use this because I want this edge right here, that flat edge, to go inside these grooves while we clean out. We'll get to that in a moment. So let's finish getting these rings off. And the next ring is the same way. We'll just break it. So we will be getting new ones. Never, ever, ever want to reuse piston rings. It's a big no-no. And then these, same way. Get those off. Well, where is there? It is. Okay, now we've got all our rings off. We want to take our broken piston ring here, and remember, use the flat edge, the machined edge. Don't use the broken piece that you broke. Use the one that, and I like to do this, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dunk it and just get a little bit on there, just real quick. It's going to be messy, guys, so if you're trying to stay clean, you are in the wrong business. So just real quick, I want to get that top layer off. So I'm going to go ahead and go around just real fast in these grooves. You can already see all the gunk that's coming out of it. But all I want to do is, I really want to get this top layer of grime kind of busted off a little bit initially. I don't know if it helps or not, but I like to think that it helps this chemical get inside the carbon buildup a little bit easier if you knock the top layer off initially. So that's what we're doing. All right, take my little piece of tape to mark which piston I've got off, and we will get this bad boy soaking. You've got probably about, I've been soaking them about 30 to 45 minutes, which seems to be a good time for getting all this stuff off. It just wipes away pretty easy. So I'm going to put the nuts in first. I'm going to go ahead and dunk the bottom in just to get some juices on there. And then I'm going to flip it over and set the actual piston in the basket with its cap just resting on it. And there we go. Now I like to try to work it back and forth a little bit to get some of that wrist pin gunk out of there while it's soaking. And I'll come back and, oh, look at there, it's already freeing itself up. Look at how much better that is already. So we'll let that go about 45 minutes, and then we will come back and do some more scrubbing on it. We got to do this toothbrush action around the entire thing. So I'm going to start by doing it up here just initially because this sticks out, and let that just start soaking. Alright, so it's been about 45 minutes or so. So let's see what kind of progress we have. Let's go ahead and pull it out. I went ahead and pulled the cap already and scrubbed it up and washed it off because those are real easy to do. They don't take very long. It's still a little stiff as far as the wrist pin goes. It's starting to loosen up a little bit. We might let it soak some more. But in the meantime, let's get some of this stuff off. You can already see it's doing a pretty good job. So let's give it a little scrub action. Again, you're pretty much just taking layer by layer off is all you're doing. So I just got a toothbrush here. I got this one last time I was at my brother's house. So you might want to do the same thing. I just grabbed his out of his bathroom, so I'll return it later in a couple weeks when I'm done with it. It's fine. So you just give it a once over, and each time you give it a once over with the toothbrush, you're knocking another layer off. So then you're going to soak it again, and eventually you're going to get down to nothing but metal. Very important too, you want to make sure that this little relief hole right there, you want to make sure you get something. You can get a paper clip or whatever, baling wire, whatever you got, but make sure you get inside of that really well and get the goop out. You can see it's wadded up in there, so you want to make sure you rough it up and get that stuff dissolving. Okay, and then you can take your piston ring that you broke again and you stick it right down inside the groove. I like to keep mine a little bit long, that way you have kind of a handle to grab onto there. And then you stick it down in there and you just roll it right around. And as you walk it around there, you're pulling all that gunk out. All that gunk is coming right out of there. You can see it coming out. Alright, so it's been soaking for a while now, and I've already pulled it out once and kind of went over it with the toothbrush. So here's the last little bit that we're going to do to it. There's not much else we can do. As you can see, it works fairly well. I just take it out periodically and I'll go over the whole thing with the toothbrush and put it back in. That's all I've been doing. So from here, we're going to take our nice clean piston and we're going to go over here and we're going to rinse it off. Just regular old hose water. Get all the berryman's out of it. We're already freed up, significantly freed up with that wrist pin just by doing that. And then we come over here and we'll blow it, we'll air blow it out and get all the water off of it. Alright, and then after we blow it off with the compressed air and get all the water off of it and get it good and dry, I like to let it set just for a minute. You don't want to let it set for long, folks. So WD-40 the mess out of it, and then put it in a large Ziploc bag with the cylinder number marked on it. And then they will be stored until they're ready to be used again. So that's all there is to it, folks. It's just labor intensive, but it's a very necessary step. Alright, just like that, we've got 4 down and I've got 4 to go. Well, 3's there. I got 1 soaking already, so hopefully this will speed up the process if I soak them longer. But there's number 7, number 5, number 3, number 1. I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put them so they don't get damaged, but man, they came out really nice. I'm not gonna unpackage them because they're all WD-40'd and greased up in there, so I want to keep it that way. On a side note, for you people that smoke, all you smokers out there, don't get me wrong, I smoked for 16 years, and then I quit about 8 years ago. I quit. Haven't looked back since. But interesting fact, this stuff, now that I've been standing over it all day long and smelling it, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of an ashtray that's filled with cigarette butts that's been left outside, that's been rained on. That's exactly what that smells like. And it is being used to take carbon, thick carbon, off of engine parts. So, I don't know. Think about that. Take it for what you will. But anyways, see y'all. Stay healthy.